for you this lesson from Unity of the Keys Spiritual Center. So Don Miguel Ruiz is a renowned spiritual teacher and internationally best-selling author of the Toltec Wisdom series, which includes the Four Agreements. He was born in rural Mexico, the youngest of 13 children. He attended medical school and became a surgeon. And he has spent decades taking sacred journeys throughout the world, enlightening thousands of students through his words, his message, and his presence. His work is best received among members of the New Thought movement, such as Unity, that explores ancient teachings as tools for spiritual growth and transformation. The Four Agreements was published in 1997, that's 29 years ago, and was a New York Times bestseller for more than a decade. So there are four agreements. Be impeccable with your word. Take nothing personally. Don't make assumptions. And always do your best. Today, we're delving into the first agreement, be impeccable with your word. Words shape worlds. That is the essence of our basic unity principle number 3. We create our experiences through our way of thinking. We create our experiences, how we experience the human condition through our thoughts, through how we are thinking. And in unity, we know and we understand the power of our words, our thoughts. For our thinking forms words in our minds and then often into our voices. But inner words, even those not spoken, matter. Even if they never leave our lips, words have power. And thoughts held in mind recreate or produce after their kind. That's a unity saying. Thoughts held in mind recreate or produce after their kind. Words spoken multiply with experiences of similar energy. Our words have a vibration. That vibration is multiplied over and over again throughout the day, our week, and our years. At the same time, we accept that life and the human condition happens. Life happens. Accidents occur. Illnesses, diseases appear. Loss and death are part of the living spectrum. We will not participate in metaphysical malpractice by making the assumption that bad things only happen to people with wrong or error thinking. Simply put, bad things happen to all of us. And yes, sometimes we can look back and see how we might have started that ball rolling. And other times, absolutely not. It was a ball that was rolling all on its own, and we got in its way somehow, and it affected our lives to some measure. It is what we do with what life throws at us that determines our experiences. How we choose to hold it. If we decide we are victims to life, then we are victims. Or conversely, what happened was simply a part of our journey, not defining us or limiting us in any way. How much importance we give to it and how we place it in our lives is a matter of choice. The words we use, how we describe it. Are we a person reduced to a wheelchair, restricted in life? Or are we a person living life and we use a wheelchair as a tool to support us, not diminish us? How much do we allow our past to rule the rest of our lives? How do we talk about it? How do we phrase our past? Throughout Scripture, words are portrayed as creative power. In the very opening chapter of Genesis, creation unfolds through divine speech, through affirmation. Let there be light. And the universe responded, there was light. In Unity teachings, we understand this symbolically as a reminder that consciousness expresses itself through thought and word, and that those thoughts and words have power. This first agreement, be impeccable with your word, is much more than avoiding profanity or speaking politely. It is a spiritual practice, a practice of aligning our speech with truth and love and divine wisdom, the divine wisdom that we are. Now, the word impeccable comes to us from the Latin root, meaning without sin. And in this context, sin is not moral failure, but missing the mark of our spiritual nature. How absolutely unity. That's how we understand the word sin, as a missing of the mark. We erred. So when our words are rooted in fear, criticism, judgment, or dishonesty, we miss the mark. When our words express truth and love, we align with our divine identity. For Unity teaches that we are 100% spiritual beings, expressing through our 100% human experience. And our words carry creative power. So remember, Unity's first principle is that God is the source and the essence of all good. And because we are expressions of that good, of the divine, that's the second Unity principle, our words participate in creation. And that's the third Unity principle. Our thoughts create our experiences, and we constantly affirm possibilities or limitations. What we repeatedly think or say. If it is, I never succeed, nothing ever works out for me, I'm too old, I'm too young, I'm not enough, we are reinforcing conditions within consciousness. And there's a vibration within those statements, a negativity. Our mind and our body then resonates with that vibration. We can choose to make positive, affirming statements. We can change the direction of those vibrations at any time. We can say instead, divine wisdom guides me. I'm open to new possibilities. God's life flows through me. I'm growing every day. I wonder what I'm going to learn from this. These statements align with spiritual truth, and they carry a much higher, lighter, positive vibration. And our bodies feel that also. This is not magical thinking. It is conscious participation in shaping our awareness and our expectations. Now, many people speak kindly to others, but harshly to themselves. I always mess up. I should be better than this. What's wrong with me? I'm a failure. I can't do that. If another person spoke to us this way, we would likely end the relationship. Yet many people maintain exactly this type of internal criticism for years and years. So it is time, if we have not done so already, to end that relationship. The we are not enough, part of our consciousness that is a lie. The first place to become impeccable with our word is within. Now, Unity teaches that our true identity is the Christ within, the divine image and likeness of God, the replication of however we understand that term God, universal love, divine life, that is within us. When we condemn ourselves, we forget who we are as divine beings. Being impeccable with our word does not mean denying mistakes. It means addressing mistakes from wisdom rather than from harsh judgment and shame. Instead of saying, I'm a failure, we can say, I made a mistake and I'm learning. Or we can even say it playfully. That one was a doozy. The first statement attacks our identity. The second and third supports our growth and treats ourselves gently. Imagine every word as a seed planted in the soil of your consciousness and mine. Some seeds produce peace, while others produce fear. Some produce hope, while others produce discouragement. Over time, what we repeatedly plant becomes the landscape of our lives. Can you see that? The landscape of your life. And whatever you may have planted previously can be uprooted, replanted, reframed, changing perspective, events being given less or more importance. People say they desire peace while constantly speaking with anxiety. This is terrible. That is awful. We're doomed. The sky is falling. And maybe it truly feels that way. But listen to those words. Or say or think thoughts of violence. I hate myself. Why did I do that? I was so stupid. None of those thoughts, none of those words promote peace. If there is to be peace in the world, there must first be peace within ourselves. If there is to be peace in the world, there must first be peace within ourselves. And that means thinking and speaking words that promote peace. People desire prosperity while constantly thinking or speaking limitation. Now, I caught myself in this a few weeks ago. I stopped in what has become my favorite jewelry store in Key West. Divine order had been at play months prior when I found myself looking into the display cases, and the owner opened the door and invited me in. We weren't 3 minutes into a conversation before connecting the dots. We know and adore some of the same people, of course. So one day I noticed a beautiful pair of earrings in the display window. They were calling to me. Many of you understand what I'm saying. And so I went in to inquire about them. No, I don't often buy myself what I call real jewelry. My husband, Denny, likes to do that, and he has excellent taste. So I asked about the price. Yikes. And I said, without thinking, these are too rich for me. And I said, without thinking, these are too rich for me. Then I immediately slapped my hand over my mouth, realizing what I had just said. And the owner looked at me with big eyes. I realized I could have said a lot of things to convey the price was a bit higher than I was accustomed to spending or prepared to spend. But instead, I said something that equated to, I don't deserve these. That's in essence what I said. These are too good for me. Now, I'm not suggesting we spend money without thought or consideration, like our what's in our bank account, our budgets, our income. But it does mean not demeaning ourselves in relation to an object. People desire loving relationships and then constantly speak criticism. No one will want me the way I look. I'll always be alone because I don't deserve love. And then we look into our past for proof that these statements are true. The first agreement invites us to examine the seeds we sow. What are the words we are speaking repeatedly, day after day? Now, there are several people here within this community that I simply love to receive text from. Why? Because they are always so affirming. Now, these are real examples from my text thread. Good morning, Radiant One. Thank you with the heart emoji. I love that with an exclamation mark. This will work perfectly with another exclamation mark. Sounds good, thumbs up. That's Carolyn, no matter what I propose. She is awesome. Good morning, Starlight. You are welcome, my pleasure. Thank you so very much. Definitely, with the emoji with the 3 hearts around a smiling face. Who doesn't want to receive seeds like that? Affirmations of support and connection. And this is how members of this community communicate with me. And I know how very fortunate I am. I seldom have to step back and question whether that was snarky or sarcastic, as many have to deal with. It is almost always pure light, in the moment expressions of love. Being impeccable with our word does not mean avoiding difficult conversations, for love also requires honesty. Jesus frequently spoke truth that challenged assumptions and invited transformation. That's a gentle way of saying that he often shocked his audience with his speech, shocked them into seeing their experiences from a different perspective. However, there's a difference between truth and attack. You never listen. That's an attack. I don't feel heard right now. That's your truth in the moment. You're selfish. That's an attack. I need more support in this situation. That's your truth. You see, attack seeks to wound. It is the ego trying to keep you safe by disconnecting from and distancing the other person. Truth seeks understanding, wishing to remain connected and communicating from the heart, even when, and especially when, we are feeling hurt and wounded. And I know that's not easy. But impeccable speech combines honesty and compassion. Before speaking, ask 3 questions. Is it true? Avoid exaggeration, gossip, and assumptions. And just because something is true, ask yourself the next 2 questions. Is it kind? Truth and kindness can coexist. And the third one, is it necessary? Not every thought requires expression. Will my saying this help the other person, or do I just want to get it off my chest? But by pausing and asking these 3 questions, you create space between impulse and response. You give yourself the opportunity to determine whose good will really be served, if anyone's, by saying what is on your mind. Ask yourself, is it my ego that wants to say this? Or is it my healer? I'll share a story of transformation. A woman attended a Unity church after experiencing years of discouragement. She noticed she constantly said, I'm just unlucky. Her minister challenged her to replace that statement with, divine good unfolds in unexpected ways. Divine good unfolds in unexpected ways. Now, at first, this felt very artificial, unnatural, making this statement. But she was committed, and she repeated the affirmation several times a day. Over the months, she noticed something remarkable. Her circumstances had not changed dramatically, but her perception had. She became more open, more hopeful, and more aware of opportunities. Her words had gradually reshaped her consciousness. They had most definitely changed the vibration in which she was living to a more positive and supportive one. This illustrates a key unity principle. Change within precedes change without. Now, we all want this. We want our outer world to reflect love and peace. Change within is what we need to do for our outside circumstances to feel differently, to feel less infused with fear or chaos, and to reflect love. This is wonderful news. For inner change is within our realm of control. It is doable. It takes effort and commitment and practice, and it can be accomplished. So here are some tools for your spiritual toolbox. This week, I'd like you to observe your words. Keep a small notebook. I believe Finn has some slides for us. They're also listed in your spotlight. Notice how you speak about yourself, how you speak about others, how you speak about the future, and how you speak about challenges. Do not judge yourself. Simply observe, for awareness is the first step towards transformation. Then add another step. I believe we have a slide. Every morning affirm, I speak words of truth, love, and wisdom. My words bless my life and the lives of others. Say that with me. Say that with me. I speak words of truth, love, and wisdom. My words bless my life and the lives of others. And then every evening, ask yourself, did my words today reflect my highest spiritual understanding? Ask this without judgment of yourself. Simply ask the question, and it will guide you to become more immersed in the process the next day.